Can you imagine? Can you imagine when they broke the news? Had it been Letecia Stauch attacks extradition officers and is killed in defense. She attacked an officer enough that that officer had to be taken to the hospital. They had to stop the extradition process and put her in a Kansas jail. What if? This is just a what if video. What if they would have killed her? What if they would have defended those officers, which they would have rightfully had the ability to do? And what if Letecia Stauch was killed during extradition from South Carolina to Colorado? What if? What would the headlines be today? What would your thoughts be today? How would we all feel if she attacked an officer and that officer had to take her life defending his? What if? If she would have tried to escape and they would have killed her in the escape, we'd all be talking about, would justice have been served? Man, we talked about this before when they were transporting her. I said, why don't you just have the Epstein guards transfer her to Colorado? Why don't you just have Epstein's guards transfer her to the custody of the 4th Judicial District? Could have been that. It was that close. Could have been a suicide attempt by her. Suicide by cops sometimes is a planned deal when people don't want to face what they've had to go into. What would drive someone who's being extradited back to Colorado to face murder charges to attack the guards that are transporting her? The what if? We would have all had to sit back and go, would you have believed it? I mean, we have to believe what happened because now there's a hospital record in Kansas. She's been kept in Kansas. But man, what if the outcome was different and they would have killed Letecia Stauch during the extradition? Just something to think about when you hear about the incident of her attacking the transferring guards. It would have been crazy. They didn't do it. It's just a what if. It's just a what if. But it's a crazy what if. I mean, people get killed all the time resisting arrest. People get killed all the time by officers attacking officers. This would have happened in a closed vehicle. I doubt. The only way I can figure is one that she probably was not being transported with multiple people because of the speed in which they got her back here. She was probably transferred by herself. She probably was in a vehicle that probably wasn't like a van. And chances are she either had an officer sitting next to her in the back seat and or she attacked the officers from behind in the front seat. But most of the time when they're transporting people extradition this way, they will have an officer sitting next to her if it's in a solo car, right? In a van, she would have been locked in the back of the van. She wouldn't have had the opportunity to attack officers. They would have been protected by shields and cages and stuff like that. So when I'm listening to the reports or watching the reports about her attacking an officer, it very could have been real close proximity. And I'm sure we'll hear more about this and there'll be more information released. But it just made me think, what if that officer would have killed her in that attack in defense? What if she would have been shot? And it could have been crazy. It could have been an attempt, like she could have said things like "kill me," "I'm death by suicide by cops." So they may have more information on. They for sure have more information on that attack, and that it could also show why that she's in a suicide. But it's pretty standard for her to go into suicide watch because of the charges she's being held on. So they would have put her on suicide watch anyway the first 24 hours she was in custody. And so just because we saw her in a suicide smock doesn't mean she actually attempted suicide or threatened suicide. But there is a possibility that when she made that attack on that officer during extradition, that she said something like "just kill me" or something like that. And so a very strange deal, but that situation could have been different. It could have ended different. And we could all be reading the headline, Letecia Stauch killed by officers. Very, very, is probably 50-50. I don't know how bad the attack was, but it was bad enough that the officer had to go to get emergency care, and they had to make an emergency stop at a county jail to put her in. And so just a crazy situation to think about. She was that close probably to being killed by officers. So just a short little quick video. I'm not going to go into a long deal. It's just something I thought about and I wanted to put it out there. The what if she had been killed during transport.